You are muted. Unmute yourself. Thank you. We good? Thank you. Welcome to the City Council meeting of January 20th, 2026 at 5:04 for the City of San Juan Bautista. May I have the Pledge of Allegiance, Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia? Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Here.
Councilmember Frios,
Here.
Councilmember Morris Lopez, Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, Mayor Jordan.
Here. Thank you. We will be going into closed session for a couple of items. Conference with legal counsel on existing litigation, Orozco versus the City of San Juan Bautista et al., California Government Code Section 54956.9D1, and Public Employee Performance Evaluation, California Government Code Section 54957B, City Attorney. Do we have any public comment on closed session?
Nobody present in Zoom and no audience members in chambers.
Thank you very much. I'd like to now close the regular meeting to go into this closed session, and we'll be back around 6 p.m. I will never get tired of hearing that. Thank you. Welcome back to the regular City Council meeting of the City of San Juan Bautista, Tuesday, January 20th, 2026 at 6:01. Attorney Giffen, can you please take us out of closed session?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Members of the City Council and public, the City Council met in closed session on items 2A and 2B. 2A was conference with legal counsel, existing litigation, Orozco versus City of San Juan Bautista, California Government Code Section 54956.9D1. The city attorney reported to the City Council the status of that litigation. The City Council gave direction, and there's nothing to report out. On item 2B, Public Employee Performance Evaluation, California Government Code Section 54957B, City Attorney. The City Council met in closed session, and that matter has been, I've been informed that that matter has been continued until next month's meeting.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to ask for a moment of silence. On December 21st, we lost a very important member of our community. And so if we can take a moment of silence. Thank you. And if I can read something that was put together by several folks, and it is honoring the life and legacy of Sarah Georgiana Grossi Gallardi. February 23, 1935 to December 21st, 2025. Whereas Sarah Georgiana Grossi Gallardi, a devoted resident of the city of San Juan Bautista, passed away on December 21st, 2025, leaving behind a lasting legacy of civic leadership, historical preservation, and community service. And whereas since moving to San Juan Bautista around 1960, Georgiana was both a successful farmer and a downtown business owner, contributing to the local economy and vitality of the community. And whereas Georgiana was a founding and lifelong leader of the San Juan Bautista Historical Society, serving on its board of directors since its establishment in 1965, and later as executive director of the Luck Museum, where she accessioned and preserved countless historic photographs, memorabilia, and ephemera donated by descendants of pioneer families, including the Abbey, Breen, Pierce, Tax, Zanetta, and many others. And whereas she was a dedicated steward of local history, playing a vital role in restoring the Jim Jack cabin, curating exhibits highlighting the Japanese American families of the San Juan Valley, and ensuring that the stories of San Juan Bautista's diverse heritage were preserved for future generations. Whereas Georgiana was an active member for over 25 years of the Native Daughters of the Golden West Parlor 179, serving with distinction as president and most recently as trustee. And whereas she held leadership roles in San Juan Bautista Leslie L. Garrett VFW Post 6359 Auxiliary and the San Juan Bautista Library Auxiliary, further demonstrating her commitment to service, education, community, and support. And whereas Georgiana served the city as the planning commissioner, historic resource board member, and as a member of numerous civic committees, including those focused on the general plan, the historic plan, strategic planning, and other long-range initiatives essential to the city's future. And whereas she was passionate about education and youth engagement, supporting collaborative projects such as the Crossroads Project with Anzar High School students, and welcoming countless San Juan school students to the museum for educational field trips. And whereas through her tireless volunteerism, leadership, and deep love for San Juan Bautista, Georgiana embodied the spirit of the community, service, and cultural stewardship. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Jordan, on behalf of the City Council of the City of San Juan Bautista, hereby honor and remember the life of Sarah Georgiana Grossi Gallardi, expressing profound gratitude for her extraordinary contributions and extending heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and all who were touched by her life. Thank you so much. Bonnie and Ross are here with us tonight. Thank you all for that. Okay, next it is that time of the month for the election of mayor and mayor pro tem. The selection of the mayor for a one-year term. I'd like to open up the floor for nominations.
I'd like to nominate EJ Sabatia for mayor.
Thank you. Did you?
No,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
I thought you were going to say something.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to say, given that Jackie's out sick, and unable to be here this evening. And considering that we previously made the exception to delay a vote when our mayor was not present in person, can we delay this item for our next upcoming meeting so that Jackie will have the opportunity to vote?
And she called in sick.
And she called in sick.
Yeah. My only concern is that's going to put us 2 months in the rears for boards and commissions. If there's new appointments.
I mean, I think we can still vote on committees, right? Does that actually require?
The mayor appoints those.
It's the mayor selection,
Mm.
I
and I didn't talk to her.
empathetic to the fact that she's ill, but I'm not comfortable delaying for 2 months. The 1 month, yeah, and we've done that before. 2 months is much for me. Too much for me.
Okay, so it's the will of the council to continue
That's my will.
Two.
2-1.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so apologies, opening the floor for nominations. Scott, Councilmember Friel's nominated, Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
Yes.
Do we have any other nominations?
I would like to nominate council member, existing mayor, Jordan.
Thank you. We have 2 nominations on the floor. Do we need a second for any, or are we just going to go through the roll call?
Correct.
Go.
We have to go through the roll call and each one would choose whichever of the 2 candidates they choose.
Oh, that would be the next item on, once a nomination is received. Okay, can I have
We're not doing them individually?
taking them individually? Once the nomination is received in the form of a motion, a second to that motion will be required to carry the item to a roll call vote. So do we have a second for Councilmember Sabathia? Hearing none, do we have a second for Mayor Jordan? I'll second that one. Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
So I'm calling the question to nominate current Mayor Jordan as a mayor for another 1-year term. Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Friels,
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes,
Motion carried.
thank you. Thank you all. Now for the selection of Mayor Pro Tem for 1 year. I'd like to open the floor for nominations.
I'd like to nominate Jackie Morris for Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you. Do I have any other nominations? I'd like to nominate Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia. Do we have a second for Councilmember Morris Lopez? Whoops. Do we have a second for Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
I'll second that.
Thank you. May I have a roll call, please?
Calling the question to nominate current Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia for another 1-year term as Mayor Pro Tem. Councilmember Aranda,
No.
Councilmember Friels,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Congratulations all. Thank you all very much for that. Public comment. Public comments generally are limited to 3 minutes per speaker on items that are not on the agenda. And are under the city's subject matter jurisdiction. Do we have any speaker cards?
We have 2, Todd Dubois, followed by Bill Adams.
Thank you, Mr. Dubois. Welcome. If you will just, excuse me, I'm sorry, state your name for the record, and then you have 3 minutes.
I'm here today to talk about economic development and some potential problem solving for the city. I emailed all of you, and I have a few hard copies of what I said. If anybody wants these? You guys all got my emails, by the way? Basically, I'm bringing to council's attention that there are 30 acres of industrial land on the southeast corner of the city that is problematic. I understand with ongoing litigation. I am here to request the council do a study session, special meeting, ad hoc committee, something along those lines, to discover if the city yard, which is currently downtown and not very attractive, could possibly be moved to that part of town where the zoning is correct, as well as be a leader in economic development by trying to solve economic development challenges as well as the land use challenges that are on those 30 acres. And I am either a volunteer or paid consultant or a coordinator. So will be it. But I am my single sort of message to council. If they're interested, you should call me. I'm not going to call you. I'm retired, but I would help if you so please. Thank you. Was it on? Nobody heard that whole thing? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Here's an extra one.
Oh, no battery in it.
Turn it on.
This one has one.
Turn it on.
Sorry, it's on. Thank you. And we have
Mr. Adams, you have 3 minutes.
Mr. Adams, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, this month will mark 2 years of working with the city to resolve a safety liability issue at our home. It also marks 1 year you enacted a resolution. This involves a hedge that restricts egress visibility at our adjacent driveway. Without adequate egress visibility, we risk hitting sidewalk pedestrians. This is a serious risk. I had a near accident with a child. I looked down the hedge-bordered sidewalk. I saw that the area was clear. I got back in my truck and I approached the sidewalk slowly. A young girl on a bicycle was not expecting my truck to block her way. She extended both her legs, her shoes scraping the sidewalk. Still, she could not stop. To avoid hitting my truck, she veered into the street, into potentially oncoming traffic. This is what she saw. As she can't see my truck, and I certainly can't see her. You did act on this matter, but the enforcement has failed. You enacted a resolution last January. A notice of violation was delivered to the homeowner last March, and a final deadline issued last September. To date, the hazard remains. By failing to enforce municipal and zoning codes, we and the city risk potential litigation. But at our location, the sidewalk is heavily trafficked, traveled by adults, children, pets, bicycles, and e-vehicles. Once again, I am here to urge you, please, to correct this violation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Do we have any other comments?
No other speaker cards in chambers, but we do have one in Zoom. Eddie Sanchez, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, Eddie, welcome.
Hi, everyone. My name is Eddie Sanchez. I am a proud San Juan resident here on 3rd Street. I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you all for everything you do, for your selfless work and your tireless acts on making our city, become an attraction. My question or comment and or concern is, I'm looking at this more of a learning lesson would be, I'd like to go back to what just took place right now with the selection of the mayor. Um, so last month, this was on the agenda, and there was a quorum that was met, but it got pushed to the side. Um, Moving forward to this month, it's the same exact scenario. We had a quorum that was met. However, this time we're saying, okay, no, we're going to act on it. I would just like to know, so not just for my own personal knowledge, but for the everyone in Zoom land or they're in chambers, or anyone that cares about, our great city of San Juan, is what is the governing thought process to making these decisions as to, okay, it's okay for 1 month, but not for the next. And again, it's just so that I understand and that we understand how the process flows. That's all I have. And thanks again for taking your time to hear my question.
Thank you.
No other hands on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Moving now to public hearing, general plan amendment, REF 2025-001, the 2023-2031 housing element 6th cycle update, state required general plan element update, no project approval or zoning changes. If we could receive a report from our planning manager, Ariel Goodspeed.
Hi, Ariel Goodspeed, Planning Manager, and tonight I am presenting the 2023-2031 sixth cycle draft housing element and furthering fair housing analysis. Next slide. So the housing element is a required part of the city's general plan, and it's updated on a state mandated 8-year cycle. It serves the city's primary housing policy document and identifies sites to meet the city's RHNA, supports affordable housing, removes barriers to housing development, and includes strategies to affirmatively further fair housing. It includes 4 key components: a housing needs and fair housing analysis, a review of constraints to housing, an inventory of housing sites and resources, and a housing plan that sets goals, policies, and implementation programs to guide future decision-making. Next slide. So why are we updating the housing element? It's required by state law. We have to plan for our regional housing needs. It demonstrates compliance with HCD and guides future housing decisions. Next slide, please. State law requires that every city and county to plan for its fair share of regional housing needs through the Regional Housing Needs Allocation, or RHNA, process. And it ensures that the housing opportunities are planned for both current and future residents across all income levels, and serves as a key mechanism for affirmatively furthering fair housing and promoting inclusive communities statewide. During this cycle, the city is required to identify adequate sites and implementation programs to accommodate its assigned RHNA, and a detailed breakdown of the city's housing allocation by income category is provided in Table 1-1. Next slide, please. 24 parcels, 17.45 acres, and has a capacity of about 156 units for housing sites inventory. A key requirement is demonstrating that these adequate sites to meet the city's regional regional housing needs allocation. The city has identified these 24 sites and were evaluated for infrastructure availability, development feasibility, and environmental constraints, including site characteristics and development capacity. One note and as part of the recommendation is site 11 on the inventory map. We'll need to edit that the zoning, the current zoning is actually high density residential R3, even though the general plan designation is medium density. So as part of the recommendation, if we could include that edit. Next slide, please. The housing plan is organized into 6 core goals that guides the housing policies and program during this cycle. It focuses on preserving and improving the existing housing stock. It also, goal 2 addresses housing opportunities for all income levels. Goal 3 emphasizes increasing housing supply across all income categories through zoning or funding or inclusionary housing. Goal 4 is focused on minimizing and removing governmental constraints by streamlining approvals or promoting ADUs or zoning standards. Goal 5 advances fair and equal housing opportunity by enforcing anti-discrimination laws, supporting fair housing services and addressing needs of underserved and special needs populations. And finally, Goal 6 ensures accountability through a coordinated housing element implementation program that tracks progress, reports outcomes, and ensures continued compliance. Next slide, please. So state law under Assembly Bill 686 requires that housing elements updated after 2021 include affirmatively furthering fair housing or AFFH analysis. So this aligns with the federal AFFH final rule, ensures that fair housing is a core part of local planning and decision making. Under the state law, AFFH means taking meaningful actions, not just prohibiting discrimination, to address historic patterns of segregation, reduce disparities in access to opportunity, and promote inclusive communities. Protected characteristics include race, ethnicity, disability, familial status, and other factors identified in state and federal law. It requires outreach to the community and assessment of fair housing conditions using data and background information, evaluation of segregation patterns, racially or ethnically concentrated areas of poverty, disparity, or access to opportunity, and disproportionate housing needs and displacement risk. Next slide. Thank you. The community involvement was a key part of developing the housing element. The city conducted inclusive and transparent outreach to ensure that the document reflects the needs and priorities of residents, businesses, and community stakeholders. Outreach was led by the Community Development Department and included public workshops, planning commission, and city council hearings, a community housing needs survey, and ongoing communication through the website. Bilingual outreach materials and Spanish translation services were provided to promote equitable participation. And the input received helped shape the housing elements, goals, policies, and programs. Next slide, please. The housing element update is exempt from CEQA because it is a policy level document that does not approve any development or construction. It qualifies for the common sense exemption. The statutory exemption relates to housing needs allocation and infill exemption. Any future zoning changes or housing projects would be subject to separate CEQA review as required. Next slide. The Planning Commission's discussion at the city's RENA obligation of 88 units and clarified that the state law requires the city to plan for housing, not guarantee construction. Commissioners asked about prior RENA cycles, vacancy rates, fire hazard areas, and how new housing laws affect future development, funding opportunities, annual reporting to HCD, and the city's capacity to support housing were also discussed. The commission confirmed that successful policies from the 5th cycle were carried forward and strengthened in the 6th cycle. Following discussion, the Planning Commission conducted a public hearing and voted to recommend to City Council the adoption of the housing element. Next slide. So tonight is a recommendation for City Council adoption, and afterwards will be forwarded to HCD for certification. In addition, a council member brought it to my attention that figure 1-2 preferred growth scenario, proposed sphere of influence map on page 1-9 used the wrong map and should be replaced with Exhibit A of resolution. The UGB SOI committee amended the boundaries, and on November 14, 2023, the city council adopted resolution 2023-71 approving the notice of intention to amend the general plan by accepting urban growth boundary. Ad hoc committee recommends sphere of influence, urban growth boundary, and planning area. So essentially, it's just replacing of what the proposed sphere we're working on is with the correct map figure that was provided to you earlier this evening. Next slide. Staff recommends that the city council review both the planning commission staff report dated January 6, 2026, and the city council staff report dated January 20, 2026. Following review, the city council is requested to adopt resolution number 2026 next approving general plan amendment reference file 2025-001 and adopting the 2023-2031 housing element with the 2 edits described earlier. Staff also recommends the city council determine the housing element is exempt from CEQA under the common sense exemption, the statutory exemption related to housing needs allocation, and the class 32 infill exemption. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Questions, comments, concerns from the council? Councilmember Aranda?
Yeah, I have a question, or actually two. How were residents notified about the housing element, and how many workshops or was there a lot of engagement from the community when you guys had them?
Yes, so I wasn't here during the workshops. They were described in the staff report. This that the city held a public workshop in coordination with Planning Commission on June 29, 2023. And they presented an overview of the housing elements, solicited feedback on housing needs, priorities, and concerns, and translation services and bilingual outreach materials were provided to promote equitable participation. Additionally, opportunities for public input were provided through Planning Commission City Council public hearings held on September 12, 2023, September 19, 2023. Input received during these meetings, along with responses from the Community Housing Needs Survey conducted in June, July of 2023, informed the development and refinement of the housing element goals, policy, and programs. Additionally, there was also when I came on and helped with the 5th review, every time a public draft was provided to the public, it was posted on our website and posted at the library, by the post office, and at our office. Additionally, I also, under constant contact, provided an email notification to all residents' emails that we have that we send like the water notice to. And so that was additional.
Got it. Thank you. And if any, what changes were made in response to public comments during those workshops?
I don't have a comprehensive list of those changes. Was before my time, but the public could review iterations of the public drafts, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th public drafts, and the red lines that were posted online.
Got it. Thank you. And then one last question. Is there anything in the plan that guarantees opportunities for like local workers, farmers, or anyone, anything that benefits those that are already living here in our community?
Yeah, there are under Chapter 4, Housing and Resources, it provides a summary of those resources. And so there's some goals and policies that we'd be working on during this cycle.
Sweet. All right. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels?
I asked a few questions earlier with our planner and the city manager. And the map is one that concerned me. I didn't want us to get tarred and feathered up here with that map out there. But it's a lot this is I know we kind of got bite-sized pieces as we went through this whole 1 through 6, but trying to remember all that and now this big lump, this is a lot to absorb, and I think I got through most of it. So thanks for finishing it. I know we've been at it for a long time, and you kind of got handed a big pile of stuff. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
Hello. My questions are around some of the dates and timing of this. Looks like we imply that there's an 8-year cycle
Yeah.
on housing elements, and we are 3 years into our 8-year cycle, so we're tardy, we're late.
Yes.
We don't get to wait 8 years to do this again. We've got to do it again in 5, assuming this is approved by HCD.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we up here as a council are aware of that, and our public is aware of that. We should not continue to be this tardy. I guess we should count ourselves lucky that HCD and the state haven't come down on us for being 3 years late. And I know there was, thinking back to some of the meetings and things that we went through, there were some, clever angles where we're trying to find and take advantage of the fact that we wouldn't be required to build another giant 80 to 90 home unit, and we are more likely to have those kinds of things approved when we're not late. So I just want to make sure folks were aware of that.
Yes, and to build off that, through the mayor, one of the most important things, because we are not in compliance, is that we are now subject to builder's remedy. And so by getting this adopted tonight and submitting it to HCD and getting our housing element certified, we now close builder's remedy applications. And so that is.
But that's only once it's certified, right? Not us passing it. Once it's certified by HCD.
Once it's certified. So we'll submit to HCD. They have 60 days to process for certification. I can tell you that HCD has been expeditious in the last month and a half in getting and we have our substantial compliance letter. They got that into us within a few weeks. Because they really want to help the city get into compliance. That is their goal. And so that is just the next step. And I can continue to answer any questions.
Thank you. Thank you for bringing this across the finish line. I know that Ilse took up some of this before she left, and then you got the brunt of it to pull it across. What an amazing document, and very, very enlightening, and a little bit disconcerting on the state of our little city. Yeah, I was shocked. Scott, thanks for picking out the map. If anybody could have done it, it would have been you. I know that we have had lots of back and forth with HCD over the last several years. And it seems like it's been a couple of months for us to get it to them, a couple of months for them to get it back to us, and so on and so forth. So I appreciate, on behalf of the city, all of the work that's gone into it over the years. And hopefully we can finalize this in the next couple of weeks, couple of months, I guess. I have no further questions on this.
Can I ask her one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you give us the kind of Cliff Note version on builder's remedy? But if you have a
Yes.
easy definition, if that's possible.
Yeah, so essentially builder's remedy allows applicants to essentially submit a housing project that is not compliant with your zoning. And they still have to do CEQA, but they don't have to be consistent with your zoning, and it streamlines the permitting process. And so you don't go through the normal planning process. And so that's essentially what it is. And so you lose control of the type of development and project review that goes in. You're welcome.
I apologize. I did have a couple of questions. The map that's on page 5 of the presentation, it calls out housing site inventory. Have these folks all been notified that that their property is large enough for something?
So all of the sites, so the notification that was sent out, it was emailed out to everyone in the public, and it was noticed in the freelance and on the website. And these sites are not that were identified. There's no zoning changes happening. It's just existing. So they, anyone could come in and do a project at any time. So it's not changing anything on their property. It's just us identifying that these existing parcels that are already residentially zoned could support future housing that would meet the RENA numbers. As far as I know, they haven't been, everyone in the city's been emailed about both for notification of the 5th housing cycle that was publicly noticed at the Planning Commission meeting and then the City Council meeting. So they were notified via email.
Thank you. And one other question, the development on 3rd Street, at the end of 3rd Street, is that Lavanino? Does that count in this?
Are you referring to the
one at the
San
waste-
Benito Health Foundation?
No, the one by the wastewater facility.
There is it site, is it?
It was supposed to be single-family homes and condos and like tiered.
Oh, yes, the D'Ambrosio, yes, project. It isn't, we had a meeting with that applicant, I think it was last week, and they hadn't finished their full submittal. And so we had a meeting and they're working on finishing their application materials and getting it into us.
Does that count towards our RENA numbers?
Yes, when that project comes in and it finishes going through entitlement and begins, when it gets entitlement, it will then count towards this RENA. If that entitlement happens during this cycle, this RENA cycle.
Scott, can I borrow your glasses? Kidding. I don't think they'll work. No, they'll work.
Liz, I don't know if you want to go back to the PowerPoint. It was slide 1,
It's
2, 3,
page
4,
5 of the PowerPoint.
And then I don't know if you can zoom. Yeah, and then zoom in to.
Maybe. For 14. No, yeah, maybe.
That's it. It's one.
1. Okay. It could be 1. Okay.
Just for reference, even if a project comes in and it's not one of our identified sites, but it's a housing project and they have units for our arena, it will still count towards our arena.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Sorry, I had one last question. I'm piggybacking off of Councilman Friel. Are there any builder remedies currently pending or anticipated?
I can get back to you. I have not seen any builder's remedy application, but I can double check and get back to you.
All right, no worries. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to now open the meeting to a public hearing. Do we need to announce that this is, are you translating? Thank you. We do have translation available if anybody on Zoom requires it, or if anybody in chambers requires it or requests it, sorry. Thank you. Okay, public hearing. Do we have any, let's start with in chambers. Do we have any public comment in chambers?
Yes, Michael Ponce, you have 3 minutes.
Hello, Michael
Michael.
Ponce, 803 First Street. I'm here today as a representative for the Ponce R&R Survivor Trust concerning lot number 11. I did talk with the city planner Ariel today, and she did mention in her presentation amendment to lot 11. She did mention the density question, but she did not mention the zoning. Under the current statement, it says it's R2. It should be R3. So I don't know if that needs to be clarified before it is adopted and voted on. That's my only concern. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cara Vonk, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, Cara, welcome. Took me about 3 weeks.
Sorry to interrupt. I think your mic might be off.
Okay, sorry. So anyway, it's full of proposed amendments to our ordinances and the general plan to permit projects coming in to be approved at the staff level. And that was something that jumped out at me. So I'm not sure how much our planning commission is going to be involved with under these proposals. And I just want to mention that we did have lots of community input on some of our very successful projects, like Creek Ridge, what do they call it? Mission Garden Apartments and places like that. Anyway, that was my only comment, is that I hope you read all the fine details. Thank you.
Thank you.
And seeing no other speaker cards in chambers, Madam Mayor, we do have one person on Zoom.
Thank you.
San Benito Health Foundation, you have 3 minutes.
Welcome. Can you please state your name for the record?
Angelica Rojas, and I'm the Director of Development for the San Benito Health Foundation. I just wanted to make a comment and thank you so much for all the work that you do. And I just wanted to state that we stand ready and committed to expanding our health services through a future teaching health center in San Juan Bautista. And we look forward to collaborating and contributing to this important initiative for our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further public comment? Thank you. I'd like to now close public comment. Close the public hearing. Back to the council, Councilmember Aranda.
I have no questions. Only comment is, goes to our planner just to ensure that we've addressed the public concerns that we've heard today and that's being squared away.
Yes, if as part of your motion, you could include Site 11, updating to R3 zoning as described earlier. I am happy to address, there's state laws that require certain types of housing projects to be streamlined. However, site and design review is still required, so the site and design review would still be going to Planning Commission.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Nope, she answered both my questions right there.
Thank you.
Still have a live mic on Zoom. I appreciate your comment about, I do know we do need to be compliant with certain sorts of streamlining of processes. It may not be exactly what we want, but better than getting sued. I don't think I have any other questions.
Thank you. Is a lot of that ministerial?
So there's certain housing that is now by state law required to be ministerial, and so that is what the public comment card I've been referring to, and in the policies that is recommended. However, even though the state is saying that it can be permitted by right or ministerial, we still would require site and design review, and that is discretionary and would be going to Planning Commission. And so there would still be some discretionary requirements even for those types of projects that got streamlined.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Nothing. Thank you. So it says that there's no action, but this is a resolution, correct? Okay, no, that's fine. Okay. Thank you. Does anybody want to take a stab at making a motion?
I move that we approve the resolution. I move that we approve a resolution approving the general plan amendment number 2026. It says XX to update the housing element of the San Juan Bautista general plan for the 2023 to 2031 6-cycle planning period. With the exception that we update the zoning for site 11 to R3. Thank you.
And then keep going. You have to read the whole thing.
Why did I start back?
Determine that the housing.
Determine that the housing element update is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, CEQA, as a policy level planning document that relies on prior environmental review. Confirm that a duly noticed public hearing has been conducted and all public testimony has been considered, and direct staff to submit the adopted housing element and resolution to the California Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD, for final certification.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Motion.
Through the mayor, would you like to also change that one figure as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
If you want to friendly amend that.
Yes, I approve
Map
the map change, figure
1.1.
1.1. Forget what the new one was.
Yes, it is figure, 1-2, preferred growth scenario. Proposed sphere of influence map on page 1-9.
Remove the map on 1 dash.
Replace the map
Yes.
depicted.
Yep. Replace the depicted map on 1-2. Page 1-9?
on page 1-9.
Yep.
Figure 1-2 on page 1-9. Now say that 10 times fast.
I already said it once, and I was almost correct.
Thank you. Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, seconded by Councilmember Aranda. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried as amended.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Consent agenda items. There are 7 items on the consent agenda. Would any member of the council wish to pull an item for separate vote, separate discussion?
Yeah.
Councilmember Aranda.
I'd like to pull C.
Okay. Anybody else? Thank
Steve.
you.
Can I pull C as well?
Sure. Okay, would any, what? Oh. Okay, I'd like to pull that one too. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I would love to pull F, but that's not going to happen. Do we have any members of the public who would wish to pull an item on the consent agenda? Thank you. Anybody from Zoom?
No hands raised, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve A, B, D, E, F, and G?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, seconded by Councilmember Frios. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Councilmember Aranda, rib cook-off.
For me, just it's something easy. Last year, several vendors needed to arrive early to set up for the rib cook-off. And I think this question, I'm directing it to staff. Do we know whether additional setup time is needed this year for those vendors? And the only reason I raised this concern was because last year when I walked the festival and I was speaking with the vendors, they expressed some frustrations about not having enough time to properly set up. And so I know it's concerning for those who live in the downtown district, but also I want to ensure that there is enough time for that festival, because last year we ended up having to have a special meeting to approve extra time for them to set up. That's pretty much all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Sabathia.
I'm stealing.
Go ahead.
Why the heck does the street open and close? I need a decoder ring to know when it opens and closes throughout this event. Once the vendor's set up, the street's not useful for driving. We shouldn't open it back up until it's done. What? The opening and closing should be one.
Yes,
month.
yes, that is a typo. It's
Okay.
going to be closed for the entirety of the,
So I'm not, for this reason, I'm not crazy.
no.
From Friday at 5 p.m. This is for the, I think this is for the Arts and Crafts Festival. From Friday at 5 p.m. until Sunday, 10 p.m.
But even for if you take the two events separately,
They both need to be closed for the entire
Yeah.
day. Yeah.
you got stuff out in the street.
The breakdown in time shouldn't be there, and it's been corrected.
Thank you.
Then I can drive down the street and get ribs handed to me.
Right? Wouldn't that be awesome at the end of the day? And to Councilmember Aranda's question, that's why it's open at 5. That takes care of, I think we closed it, I don't know what time we closed it last year, but 5 o'clock was asked by Promoter Williams or Williams LTD to open at 5 o'clock.
Sweet, just making sure that we're okay and then we're not back here again, having a second special meeting for that.
Thank you.
I didn't pull C, but I didn't because I already had pulled, but one thing, and I'll just reiterate it from last year. We please enforce the mess that they make, especially the rib cook-off. Sometimes the streets get a little sloppy and stained with grease and things like that. It just looks terrible. Thank you.
May I comment through the mayor?
Go ahead.
Yes, we had a very good system last year for cleanup and follow through. And we'll be following that exact protocol where we walk the streets with Mr. Williams the following morning. We document it, we work with Public Works, and we will be charging for any additional cleanup.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve consent agenda item 7C with the start and stop times from 5 p.m. on opening day to 10 p.m. on closing day? I think that's it. Sorry. 5 to 10, right? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
It's AM, not PM.
You seconded it? Thank you. Motion made by Mayor Jordan, seconded by Councilmember Aranda.
Calling the question, Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
May I speak?
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
You guys are voting on something wrong. It is Sunday at 10 AM, not PM, unless you want to close the street all day Sunday.
Thank you. Can we continue with the vote?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
and Mayor Jordan.
Yes. Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't even see if Jason was on. If he had, no. Okay, thank you. Okay. Action items. Third Street striping options between Franklin and McCulmy. Who's bringing this one forward?
Thank you, Mayor. I believe we have Doug Pike on the line to give the presentation.
Good evening. Can everyone hear me?
Hi, Doug. Yes, welcome. Thank you. We can hear you.
Well, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
What this item is a couple months ago, we did an update on the CIP projects, and one of those is work associated with Third Street. The highlights of the staff report are that we have a project that is planned and funded to do some master planning on Third Street. But in advance of that, we would like to restripe, if that's necessary and desired, Third Street, so that during the master planning, we might have a trial of the council's preferred striping plan, or an early activation of the preferred striping plan. So this is really what that's all about, is to present some exhibits showing 3 different striping options to stimulate discussion and thought concerning what is the council's pleasure moving forward. Several city council members have expressed interest in reviewing these alternatives for restriping, of Third Street between Franklin and Muckalamy Streets. And the options that we're going to present are a one-way street, excuse me, a one-way street with parallel parking. That is the way it's currently striped. There's currently approximately 72 total parking spaces. Option B, we call option B, is going back to a two-way street with parallel parking, again with the same number of parking, about 72. And then we are going to show you an exhibit of an interesting concept that you may not have seen before. Option C, which is a one-way street with angled parking, 30-degree angled parking, which has approximately 81 total parking spaces. So it gives about 9 additional parking spaces. Once council direction is provided, Public Works proposes to implement an interim striping project in advance of the more comprehensive master planned improvements. The interim project may also, however, include some remedial repairs such as pothole repairs, crack sealing, perhaps a rejuvenation oil application in the street, new pavement striping, of course, and if the budget allows, new signage at this time. If we go back to two-way, it'll definitely include new signage. This phased approach will allow the city to evaluate real-world operations and community response while supporting the ongoing Third Street master planning effort. I think most of you are familiar with the background and how it went from two-way to one-way during COVID in order to provide opportunities for outdoor dining. And so really this is meant to stimulate discussion at council and perhaps a decision and maybe some specific direction to staff in regards to what the future striping may look like on Third Street. So the options that you have in terms of a motion may be to for staff to return with additional information or select an option A, B, or C to be further developed, including council comments and direction, or provide other direction as deemed appropriate by the council. We didn't want this just to be a presentation. We wanted to leave it open for direction and action to be taken, and that's why this is coming forth as an action item. So if it's all right, I'll just give some highlights on the 3 options and the exhibits, and then turn it back to you for discussion or questions. If you look,
Thank you.
Look on the packet, the first exhibits, there's 2 sheets per option. The first page is Third Street one way with parallel parking, which is the way it is now. These aerials show the old dining, street dining configurations. Apologize for that, but we found these aerials from the county as much sharper than Google Earth images, so we went ahead and used these. But you can see the striping. In all cases, we're recommending 11-foot wide lane striping. The street actually can accommodate a little more.
Sorry to interrupt, Mayor. Is there a presentation for the public, or is it just only for us? Curious.
There should be a slideshow being presented. Elizabeth, do you have that, or else I can pull it up on mine?
Apologies.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. Find it here. This is a long packet. Takes a while to scroll down to the exhibits. I'm almost there.
If you search for striping, it should
377.
page.
I found it. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. If I'm able. Yeah, I am.
Yep, you are. You've been promoted. Congratulations.
Oh, okay. Great. Here we go. Okay. You see my,
Thank you. Yeah, we have it now. Thank you.
okay, great. And we've put some color on the travel lane so that you can see that a little bit more clearly. Let me make sure I've got it the right size so that that's, hang on a sec here. Okay. So what we've done is we choose to show all of the travel lanes at 11-foot width. There's a room for a little bit more, but if we stripe what we call the fog lines or the edges of the travel lane, it's a traffic calming technique. Drivers tend to pull in their elbows and they feel like they're in a narrower street than they have and tend to drive slower. And then the parking widths vary on these different options. One of the things that we recommend on both parallel parking options is that we put hash marks designating the parking spaces because as you can see in this exhibit, people tend to be a little selfish in how much space they take in the parking. But if we put the hash marks, people typically strive to obey those hash marks and park within the lines. And that way we get more efficient parking and more parking. The crosswalks, we're not deciding exactly what convention or typical detail we're going to use. I think there will be some preferences. And as you can see in this particular exhibit on Muckalamy Street, it's a traditional white crosswalk. And then immediately below it is the striped high visibility crosswalk, which is not typically black, it's typically white. Along with this, the first remedial effort will have legends such as arrows and stop legends and stop bars. We're going to examine all of the accessible curb ramps, and if some need some cleaning up, we won't have the money to redo all those corners, but we can replace the tactile pads, including keeping them the same color they are or changing them to a gray, which tends to be popular with some groups in the city. And so I'm not really, we just want to focus in for this exercise in the striping and parking configuration, and the details on the signage and the type of detail for the crosswalks will be worked out when we're laying out the design. So if we go to the remaining two blocks, it looks very similar. Again, you can see that like on Franklin and Washington, Mariposa, we have the high visibility crosswalks, but we can change that style. But this is basically what the striping would look like, sans the blue that we put on the travel lane just for your visibility and to readily see how it would travel. So this is very similar to what's out there now. So another option would be go back to two-way traffic like we've had before, and it'll look very similar to what it did before. The difference would be that we recommend two 11-foot travel lanes again, and we'll put potentially a fog line to close in those lanes, keep them 11 feet, and we would still put the hash marks for parking. And the same thing in the other two blocks, basically returning to what was present prior to COVID. This one's the option that nobody's really seen, but it would retain one way. Turns out that a 30-degree angle works for typical standards for angled parking. Cars that would pull in forward and then back out partially into the traveled way, but the street is wide enough that it meets most standards for angled parking. There is a wide enough traveled way that if people encroach backing up into this 11-foot, potentially if it were necessary in an evasive maneuver, someone could drive around them still. There's enough traveled way. But you can see how this is a more efficient parking scenario. And if we were to do this, we'd recommend that we put in some handicap or some accessible parking spaces. No more than one per block. That would meet the requirement if we wanted to maintain that standard of percentage or count of accessible parking spaces for available parking. And then that concept would continue in the other two streets. Now, one of the things that we don't show here but could be added as well is that we don't have bulb outs on the corners, which are typical techniques for traffic calming and also to shorten the travel distance for pedestrians across the road. We could have painted corners, bulb outs. I know that some feel that having those existing barrels out there is a solution to that, and it could be part of a combination of a couple of things that we put out there. Relatively inexpensive solution to that, if it's desired, is what we call floating islands, which are simply cast in place concrete islands 6 inches deep that are anchored with some rebar driven in the ground and protruding 4 inches out of the ground. And those have a longevity, but they're not permanent and they're inexpensive. Could be painted white or some contrasting color, and get that would make the accessible ramps on the corners a little bit of a challenge to design those, but we could figure that out if that's something that is desired. So that's I'll leave this one here because this one is colored. But those are the three concepts that we wanted to present just to get the juices flowing and stimulate some conversation. I'm guessing that some of you may have some questions. Some of you may already know what your preferences would be, but I'm available for questions.
Thank you. To the council, Councilmember Aranda.
Yeah, I have a few questions. One of them being, how does the proposal align with our downtown revitalization and economic development goals? Another one would be, have we reached out to local businesses to understand their priorities and inputs on this issue? And I think you touched bases on a little bit on it, but will a one-way street help or hurt our downtown economic activity? I'm trying to think what else. And what feedback have we received from emergency services? Does that help them? I know they usually pull out over here by Washington Street, but does it help them get access our city easier? And now that I'm thinking about our recent striping on 3rd Street, is there any way to keep or add the gray ADA pads and keep like white striping in the downtown district so it doesn't look odd, or it kind of keeps the historic nature of our downtown district? I understand that the streets, there's laws for certain things, but if we can keep it all, I just don't want to see so much yellow and everything to make it look good. And I've walked out some downtown districts and I've seen the gray pads. So, I would like to keep that. Those are my questions.
Okay.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels.
Yeah, we've got a few. The one-way street with the parallel parking, are the hash marks going to be inside the white line that you created, or are they going to be at the same level at the white line? Or what I'm getting at is a 11-foot one-way street's a little tight from a person who drove a fire engine for most of his adult life. I would be really uncomfortable if cars were right on the 11-foot mark. So if I have that question, the question is like Jose brought up with the was the fire marshal, asked about this. Um, crosswalk standards. Are there specific standards for crosswalks? And we've got the hash mark one, and then we have your standard one. Is there some type of state or federal law that they have to be a certain way? And then the fog line kind of bugs me. I just can't see two white lines running down our historic district. If it's a one way, if we pick a one way street, it just, to me, it seems much. We want to look rustic. We don't want to look Salinas downtown. So that's a concern. And let's see. I had a question about the hash marks for parking. I'm a little bit confused with, so we're going to do all this work, and then we're going to come back a few years later and probably do a whole bunch of upgrades to 3rd Street. It seems like we're spending a lot of money to just kind of eliminate what we did. Because prime example, 3rd Street has a massive crown to it. They learned that on the north side of 3rd Street. They had to take a bunch of soil out. So all that asphalt, and they went down about 2 feet. All that's going to be gone, and all the striping is going to be gone, and the hash marks. And so it seems like, why can't we do all at once instead of, I mean, I like the idea of patching the potholes, but it seems like we're putting the cart before the horse on that. I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
I don't have too many strong feelings one way or another about the two-way versus one-way traffic. Over the years, I've looked up a bunch of different studies trying to educate myself as to see if it has impacts on businesses and areas. And most of the evidence that I can find is anecdotal and or coincidental. Numerous facts, like just cross-examinations of a couple of different studies I've read through, that other circumstances came along with the two-way or one-way conversion that swayed revitalization and or harm of businesses, various recessions and things like that. I do like more parking. I do agree with Councilmember Friels. It feels a little bit like end of the year, spend all the money so we get keep the budget activity. NASA Ames repaves that entire campus every year to make sure they can still keep their budget. It's fun. Yep. I do appreciate the increased parking. I can see some meetings and some community engagement around where exactly we do or don't need paint and things like that, so that we don't end up just blasting the street, so that we don't end up on the news like Hollister did for that. Whatever the heck they did on Lad Lane. I can't believe that made national news. But the idea of increasing parking spots downtown does intrigue me. That I'd have to think, even 10 more spots, 9 or 10 more spots, whatever we said, could help the local businesses. 9 spots. That's all I got.
Thank you. I have a couple of questions before you remember everything that we've all said. There's a lot of signage and writing on the street. And that was one of our biggest concerns when we put it to a one-way originally, that we don't clutter it with signs and too much paint. You said something about ghost painting. Was that the word you used?
No, we call them fog lines.
Fog lines. Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
and they would separate traffic from bicycle use sometimes, but mostly it's to designate the edge. On a highway, you have a fog line so that if you can't see the way down the street, you can look immediately to the right and
Fog
see where the lane
line.
is.
Okay.
That doesn't apply here, but that principle, but that's
Okay.
the name you use for it.
Thank you. I understand that now. So, and we're talking about painting. You said something about, before you actually answer all of my questions, we can go back to council, concerns. Handicapped in every block. I don't know if there's a difference between whether you parallel park or angle park, how many we have, but I certainly believe that we should have one on either side if we're going to continue the one-way street. Barrel versus cast in place. When the barrels were removed because of aesthetics, we saw 18-wheelers coming down the wrong way. So something needs to be done there. We need to make sure that the signage is minimal and stays and appropriate to the historical downtown. We do have food for thought. We do have an ATM machine that is some company comes and takes the cash out or puts cash in. And I don't know if we can do a 5 zone right there. We talk about key stakeholders. Can we add service club and maybe the city council? And I am all for keeping it one way and 5 miles an hour. I like going super slow and looking on both sides of the streets to see who's open and what's going on and who's in Daisies if I want to stop by. And the 5 mile an hour gives us that opportunity to do it. It keeps traffic slow. Not that I guess we couldn't have a 2 with 5 miles an hour, but that's just my preference. I do like the piano sidewalks and to ensure that all of our curbs, ADA accessible curbs are replaced where needed and in the gray color. I think that's all the comments I had. So if you want to go ahead and address all of what we said, that'd be awesome. We go to
Sure.
comment.
Yes. So most of what has been stated has come up in conversation before, so it's a couple of new things. So I made some notes. In the staff report, we talked about stakeholder groups and community participation, principally relative to the master planning effort. The idea of having a striping plan implemented before that time with, say, a total budget of somewhere around $35,000 or $40,000, and that would include all the striping and hopefully all the signage, as well as some pavement, just very remedial repairs, some potholes, and then what I call a rejuvenation fog seal, which is a deep penetrating fog seal that makes everything look black for some length of time with the new striping, so you have contrast. So it would dress it up, at least for a very small budget. The master planning implementation would be an order of magnitude more than that. I think also with that smaller budget, we could replace the yellow tactile surfaces with the gray. When it comes to standards for crosswalks, as well as for lane widths and for parking striping, there's a lot of leeway. There's a lot of variability, and there's just some principles you can't violate, and nothing that has been considered or asked about would violate any standards. So it's really a preference. There's some that highly prefer a visually narrowed street. That doesn't mean that you can't take a truck down it. It just means that it's more uncomfortable for a truck. And if they don't stay within the lines, that's okay. It wouldn't be a violation, or they wouldn't receive a ticket for that. What it is it's a traffic calming technique, but it's not necessary to do that. It's just something that could be done. I would recommend as a minimum, if it's one way, that there be the one-way arrows at the beginning and the end of each block so that it's another visual so somebody doesn't go the wrong way. The crosswalks can be either the high visibility that's been used here in the past, or more old school, just standard white lines, or it could be a contrasting gray. The rule on tactile pads and on the crosswalks is it needs to be a contrasting color. And they do cite a percentage contrast, which is really kind of difficult to verify if you've met it or not. But if it's visually contrasting, then it works. Certainly yellow is contrasting, but so is white. Or it could be a shade of white. I wouldn't go with a medium or even a dark, or a dark or even a medium gray like we do with the tactile strips, because roads are a different shade than the sidewalk sometimes. So we just have to look at that. But those colors could be variations. We talked about signage, that there's examples on 3rd Street now of your standard advisory signs, which we must follow. That's something that we don't have discretion on. For example, one-way streets, there's a one-way advisory sign that is a standard, but we can put them on classic wooden poles with a wooden frame around the metallic frame, so that only from a front view do you see the kind of modern look to the sign. At other angles, it would look rustic or appropriate for the historic nature of the town. Those hash marks, they're optional. It's for parking. It's just a good idea to have them if you want people to behave a little more politely with how they use the space for parking is all. Let's see what some of the other questions were. In terms of the corners with the barrels, again, that's discretionary. And personally, I like the barrels because that resolves the issue. If you put the floating islands, then it gets in the way of the ramps for access. And that might push us to do a number of structural changes at every corner that would blow the budget for an interim thing. Now, we don't have to do an interim striping project. It was a thought because there was an impression that there were some council members that were interested, or there were at least some public businesses that were interested in going back sooner than later to the two-way traffic. And that's kind of what stimulated this discussion, because that can be done with a modest budget, but while you're out there striping, you might as well spend a little more than the $12,000 for just striping, maybe spend $30,000, $35,000, and make it look much nicer, and then it might be received better, because it may take years to implement the master plan. The design probably of the master plan will probably be in excess of $100,000, and the construction, who knows what that is until the public engagement and community participation happens, and we create a list and create concepts, and then council votes and approves a concept. So that's kind of why we've done this. Made sense to at least have this conversation, right? But moving forward, we can delay or move forward with something, or not move forward with anything until it's master planned. Anything else I missed that I can cover?
There was a question on public input on any of these.
Oh,
Councilmember
okay.
Rhonda.
Yeah, so the stakeholder groups that we've identified, and that's in the proposed scope of the master planning. the California State Parks, Old Mission San Juan Bautista, the San Juan Bautista Historical Society, the Historic Resources Board, Discover San Juan, Spirit of San Juan Bautista, the Rotary Club, as well as community members, property owners and local businesses, and of course, city council and any other service clubs. I did make a note here that I saw when I looked at my notes, and that is the desire to post a very low speed limit. I'll have to do some research on that. The council can certainly designate a speed limit, but there are limits to that. And the lowest that you can post in a school zone, for example, is 15 miles per hour under certain unique conditions. And most schools would apply for that. And that unique condition is a large number of children present. I have heard of posting at 10 miles per hour, but I've never been in a city street posted at 5 miles per hour. Occasionally there's an alleyway that might be narrow one way. So that's just something I'll have to do some research on so I can advise the council. But that would be a council directed speed limit, and enforceability would be the question I'd have to research, because typically enforceable speed limits have to be a percentage of the average speed used on a given city street. With unique circumstances, you can choose something less, but enforceability is something we'd have to check state law and make sure that we're not in violation of that. Or we can post whatever we want. It's just that we can't enforce it if it doesn't fall within the rules.
Thank you. And then there was another question or comment about engagement with the fire department. So if we can make sure that we're doing that.
Yeah, I'll add that. That would, and typically what we do with those is we would do a turning template, and we would take the typical worst case truck that might travel, and especially we look at fire trucks, of course, but just make sure that they can comfortably turn, and that there's not a very high likelihood or possibility that scofflaws would park inappropriately and block inadvertently turning movement of emergency vehicles.
Thank you. Public comment. Do we have anybody in chambers? Speaker cards?
Yes, we do. Emily Brenzel.
Thank you. Can you please, Michael, can you please make sure it's on? Thank you. Emily, welcome.
Thank you.
You're good. I think you're good.
Now am I on?
Yep.
Yeah.
We can hear
Okay.
you. Thank you.
I own the Casa de Anza at 101 3rd Street, corner of Franklin. And I sent you an email this afternoon, which included the city's streetscape guidelines, which were adopted in 2018. And I believe that includes guidance for the gray, contrasting gray ADA bumps, tactile bumps. One of my major beefs with our historic town is those darn zebra crosswalks, which I think were put in without any review by anyone. I think it was just a time when business was slow in public works, and Roger said, "Oh, go out and paint these crosswalks." And suddenly our parallel crosswalks became those horrible slathering of white paint. I mentioned in my letter the gateways. That's not part of this decision, but it's a concern that you should be having. I heard mention earlier about the street signs, and I wasn't sure what that was meaning, signage or the wonderful hand-carved street signs that are not being well maintained. But Those were initially carved by Alex Zeller and later reproduced, I think, by Eagle Scout Project. But in any case, a lot of them are sagging, and we should be trying to at least shore them up a little bit. As regards the extra 9 spaces you get by a diagonal parking, diagonal parking is certainly not an historic look, and I would strongly recommend you go for the parallel parking. But you're talking 9 extra spaces, and I think it would be better for you to review on-site parking requirements for, and the general parking requirements, like in downtown, there's a formula that you have to have so many spaces within, street spaces within a distance of your business, and that may be an inadequate standard that needs to be reviewed, because certainly with the Casa Rosa, the parking they did have has been eliminated, and they were able to count every round, but they added 4 housing units, 3 additional housing units. So that is probably another 6 spaces. Oh, sorry, I'm going over. I will say that I did traffic counts.
Thank you for your time. Your time is up.
Thank you.
Ask me about my traffic counts.
Thank you. It's very nice seeing you up here.
Cara Vonk, you have 3 minutes.
Thank you, council members.
Hi, Carl.
I liked what Council Member Friel said. We want our historic downtown to look rustic. And so here is what I recommend. No parking hash marks, no fog lines, no high visibility crosswalks, gray tactile mats, and I believe that the many of the business owners would like the street to be 2-way. And I don't have an issue with that, but then I would want to know how it's going to be striped down the middle. I don't know if I covered everything, but this is our National Register Historic District, and we want it to look as authentic as possible. And I don't think we need to identify the parking spaces. It's kind of fun for people to see if they can squeeze in a spot, depending on the size of their car. I have a Mini, so I'm lucky. I can park in most places. Anyway, no angled parking, please. I think that would just totally ruin the look also of our businesses down there. Thank you.
Thank you.
No other speaker cards received, and seeing no hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Back to the council. Councilmember Aranda.
Other than my preference, would be a 2-way downtown street, as well, perhaps 5 to 10 miles per hour speed limit. I'm in favor of increasing the parking, but limiting signage and striping to preserve the historic nature of our town, as well as ensuring that if we add those gray tactile pads, or those tactile pads, that they're gray. And that's pretty much it. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels.
I'm in favor of the one-way street. I don't think we need fog lines. The hash marks. I mean, I've seen photos of old towns and they have hash marks. I'm not too concerned about that. I don't think there's any way we can get away from a high visibility crosswalk. But the hash type is it is very bright, but we still have to have high visibility crosswalks one way or another. So I'm good with either one, but I'm okay with just keeping it one way. And I'm with you. I go through downtown really slow, and speed limit's 5 miles an hour right now. I don't know, I don't know how we got away with it, but right. I mean, so I know a lot of people don't do 5 miles an hour, but at least it's there. But yeah, but thank you.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
I'm in favor of reducing our liability and risks and exposure there in terms of having things be visible and high visibility for those who have vision impairments or any other type of impairment. There's a reason those standards exist. But within the standards, whatever we need to do makes sense. Stated this before, I don't really care one way or other about the two-way or the one-way street, but having more parking spots would be great.
Thank you. I'm all in favor of keeping it one way. I think at either end, if you are traveling down from one end to the other and going 5 miles an hour, you can look around to see who's open and I don't know, get a feel for this small town community. Waving to somebody who's walking down the sidewalk or in the middle of the street or whatever, and stopping to chat for a second. Traffic's not that bad in town, and I don't personally, I don't think it merits a two-way street. I like the slow speed. I like it a lot. The hashtags for parking, with our business owners already parking in front of their businesses. I mean, I would prefer all businesses owners similar to Emily parking on the side of the street instead of on Third Street itself, so that it leaves more parking when I see a shop that I want to go into. I can pull over and well, hopefully all the parking spaces are taken up and that the town is bustling. Yeah, I'd like to see our shop owners park on the side streets rather than in front of their own shops. So having those Ts, I mean, we have the Ts now, they're just super faded, so they're clearly ignored. I agree with Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia on reducing liability, but 100% with Councilmember Friels and Caravant. This is a historic town, and whatever we do to keep it that way aesthetically, the better. So as low vis, high visibility that we can do. When we moved it to one way in the first place, there were so many more signs posted, whatever we can do to minimize while maintaining the historic flair of the city, I am all for that. And we will for sure look at the 2018 guidelines. Yeah, and definitely agree with the gray instead of the yellow. Okay, so we need a motion now then. So far it's 2 for one way, 1 for two way, and 1 no big deal. So I think the one way has it. So I don't remember what. One way would be A or C. So then we go with diagonal parking or parallel parking. And I don't.
You have to restrict.
Speaker, microphone, mic up.
Isn't there an option to do nothing? Like, we don't have to spend this money?
Yes, there's always an option to do nothing.
Well,
can
except for
wait.
when there's the use it or lose it money. I'm always in favor of using the use it
I
or
don't
lose it.
believe this is use it or lose it money. This is a part, I think if I'm not mistaken, this is a part of our CIP. Is that correct, Doug?
That's correct.
So I guess some things that we would have to think about then, if we're not doing anything, is there was the question of filling potholes and putting an oil down or whatever that is to brighten it up black.
Increasing the luster.
Increasing the luster. Thank you for that.
Shiny.
But do we not need the tees to be teed? The crosswalks need to be a little spiffy because we can't see those. So there is a little bit of facelift that does need to be done. The ADA curbs are pulling up, so we need those done. We don't have handicap parking per se. I mean, we have a couple of signs that are up. And there was one other thing.
So it's budgeted for. Is that?
Yes, I believe so. And Doug, you can feel free to correct me because I'm losing my
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah, there is a budget that would cover the remedial repairs. One of the thoughts initially when we were talking about the CIP project would be to fund the master planning, but the design of the master planning. But that we didn't know if we could complete that design by the end of the fiscal year, and thought that what would make sense would be to do this remedial or intermediate striping, and then we'd still have money to go through the acquisition or RFP process, find a consultant that we wanted to hire, and actually start the process. And then next fiscal year, fund the complete design of the master plan.
Oh my.
So our options, as I'm hearing it, are by way of consensus and boiling down, is one way with diagonal facelift or one way with parallel facelift to exceed whatever the budget is.
One way with what?
Way
Facelift?
with facelift with diagonal parking or facelift with parallel parking.
Parallel.
That seems like our options.
That's where we were at.
Important on the do not exceed budget part.
Yes. So what would be the preference of the council, diagonal or parallel? 9 spaces as is, or adding 9 spaces? I don't care either way.
I mean, I like the parallel idea just because it gives the businesses, more customers. I know it's only 9, but I always feel like it's nice to have more parking. However, is there enough room for that? Well, it's a one-way now. So
If it were a one-way, yes.
well, yeah, I'd be in favor of having it. I mean, I feel like it's easier. More parking.
Diagonal.
Diagonal. Sorry.
Uh,
I'm in favor of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as we don't have to back in.
No backing in. That's ridiculous. Hollister. Crazy people.
I'm hearing what folks are saying. As I'm mentally tabulating, if we're going to redo this, you could reduce the probably overall paint by getting the crosswalks back to the minimal striping, and then you still have your minimal striping on the diagonal. So the visual weight of the paint is overall less than it is now, even with the parallel parking.
I think we'd have more paint with diagonal.
Visual mass. Sorry,
Yeah.
getting ID.
Yeah, I mean, so
It's less visual mass if you get it's broken up, right? Than if you have that really high density zebra on the crosswalk. So if you
The crosswalk.
That's
yeah.
the crosswalk.
So
yeah.
if you get the crosswalks reverted to just the normal lines,
The normal lines.
and then you have the diagonal parking, even though it is more paint, it's less visual mass than what we have right now with the big blocky
Oh,
white paint.
I mean, that's one of the number one complaints in town is there's no parking. which is so funny because the town's like what, 0.0
5.
quarter mile.
Yeah.
But
Quarter mile, yeah.
yeah, if I'm okay with adding some more parking. Like I said, that's the number one complaint for me. People come up to me all the time. We need more parking.
Yeah, I think we need more parking because our business owners are parking there. So, okay, diagonal or parallel? Jose, Councilmember Aranda,
I'm okay with diagonal.
Councilmember Friels,
Yeah.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
I'm okay with diagonal with the caveat that we get the crosswalks back to
Straight line.
the straight lines. No,
Okay, crosswalk, straight line or piano, zebra.
Zigzag like Hollister. No, I'm just kidding. Straight is fine. I do no zebra. Gray pads.
Definitely gray pads.
And if I could throw no fog lines, do we?
Hang on, let's go crosswalk first.
Okay, go straight lines.
Straight
lines,
lines,
yeah.
straight lines, straight lines. Okay. Gray pads for sure.
Gray pads.
And the fog line, I thought the fog line was the very low, the lack of paint that we have now. Sorry. What do I know?
No, they come in really handy right now, especially over in the Central Valley with,
Yeah, as
3 mile an hour speed, 3 feet visibility, but I don't,
yeah, I'm driving to Sacramento tomorrow.
traffic calming, I mean, on a 5 mile an hour street. I mean, there are some donkeys that fly through Main Street, but
I think the horses run faster than the
yeah.
cars.
I don't think we need it.
No.
You're going to get a natural line at the end of the diagonal.
Yeah,
parking
where the
spot.
cars
You
are
don't
gonna
need
be.
that.
So no fog line, no fog line, no fog line.
But a quick question for Doug. Doug, if we do parallel one way, diagonal one way, how much width do we have on our street?
Let me take a look at that. I have that number in my head. If I look at it, I'll probably remember.
8 feet and 11 feet.
I can hardly read those.
I don't
It
see it on this one.
it'd probably be about 17 feet.
Oh, okay.
What if we did diagonal on
Diagonal.
the orchard side?
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you, Doug.
That's plenty of.
Okay, one way, diagonal, single line crosswalk, gray dots, and no fog line. Did I get that?
Mhm.
Yes. Got it. May I have a second?
So moved.
Calling the question, Councilmember Aranda,
You got all that?
Yes.
Councilmember Friels.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Keeping in mind that all of this has to go through fire.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
They're gonna have a problem with the diagonal.
Problem with the, 17 wide foot, even with the truck.
Okay, mayor's selection to. What do you think of anyway to? Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Doug. So there have been some conflicts for time with some of the council members on some committees. And I haven't been able to speak with everybody because I didn't know who was going to be doing this. So I do have a question for our city clerk on where are we in the rotation for Monterey Bay Unified Air Pollution Control District. Do you know who has that rotation?
Sorry, Mayor, I do not.
That's okay. Okay, we'll get with that. Is everybody okay with where they are at now?
I'm okay.
Okay. I have a couple of questions. Intergovernmental, that's on page 1, almost all the way down to the bottom. There are 2 seats, so we need an alternate. And it is, I don't even know when it is anymore. It's an afternoon, evening meeting. Liz, did it change to 5 o'clock or to 4:30? Do you remember
Yes, 5 o'clock.
a year ago? Okay.
Yes.
So it's at 5 o'clock. It could be quarterly, it could be monthly. I'm not sure because we haven't had a meeting in forever.
The last bylaws that were approved by the committee at the time was that it was going to be quarterly
Okay.
on the first Wednesday of the month at 5 o'clock.
First Wednesday of the month at 5 o'clock. So we need an alternate for that. Just in case one of either Councilmember Morris Lopez or myself can't make it. So
I can do it.
third
Thursday.
Wednesday.
Oh, I thought it was third,
Sorry. what?
first Thursday.
Thursday?
Wednesday.
Third Wednesday. Yeah, you can't go by this because the bylaws were changed. This is last year.
Oh,
This
no
is
wonder.
blank
I was
year.
like, what the heck? I'm reading.
Yeah. Third Wednesday at 5 p.m. So
Yeah, I can still
we'll take
do.
that.
I'll
Okay.
take it.
My only gripe with this so far, and still
Mhm.
need to check on some of the ones that are quarterly that I'm next to,
Yeah.
that are during the day with work schedule.
Right.
You have us still listed as CMAP. It has to be one of our city staff. It can't be us per CMAP bylaws.
Okay. So going up, so do we still sit on it? It has to be,
To be one of it.
Through the mayor, our city clerk was assigned as a staff person for CMAP.
congratulations. So
Sorry, I didn't update it.
we're not here. So Liz is taking that. Okay. Yeah, right. Water Resources Association.
Yep.
We're switching. So Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia will be the primary. I'll be the alternate.
Scott needs to go to more meetings.
But if Jose or Scott would like that, I'd be sort of okay with giving up water.
Which one was it?
Sorry. 3 down, 4 down, Water Resources Association. It's not a monthly meeting.
When
Those
is
are
it?
really well-run meetings.
It's very well run. It takes a half an hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can do it too, but when
It really are.
go for it. Yeah, then if you want to take it, then.
Okay. I apologize to them profusely.
Well, if it runs highly efficient, then why not?
AMBAG is an evening meeting. You're still on it. Do you want that? I have you highlighted and I can't remember why. Okay, right. So that would be me as the alternate. So if you can't ever make it, call me. I will be there. Sphere of Influence, West Nile, we're good.
How often is that meeting? Not listed on the AMBAG one?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's only I thought it was like once a quarter.
it doesn't say. Okay,
And that is in
it's Monterey, off of, it's in Ryan Ranch, 68 and 218 on Cloud, something Cloud, Blue Larkspur. Yay. We'll figure it out. Okay. Um, the sheriff committee, Scott and EJ will be the primary on that. I just lost it. Scott and EJ will be the primary on that. I'll be the alternate. Unless I don't know why I'm the alternate, unless Jose or Jack, you want to be on it? I think it alternate. 4 o'clock. Here, it says sheriff committee. Yeah, we haven't done one yet. Jose and EJ. Cannabis investment down at the bottom. There are 2 seats on that, and Scott and I sit on it. So EJ is the fire. That went to the afternoon, didn't it? 4:30 or 5 o'clock, do you recall? And that's quarterly. And San Benito County Economic Advisory Committee, this was a Board of Supervisor committee. It changed to tourism, but now there is the Economic Committee. That is a morning, the second Friday of the month at 10:30. I'm on it. I just need to confirm with Councilmember Morris Lopez to see if she can still do it. And then there is the Tourism Committee. It's a board committee, and it talks about tourism. That does meet. I am on that. It's the last Friday in the middle of the afternoon. I think it's the last Friday at 2 o'clock. So if anybody has a dire need to be on the tourism committee as an alternate, let me know. And then we'll finalize this and get it off to all of the other jurisdictions. Oh. Okay.
Who
That's, tourism.
who from Hollister and the county are on COG? Do we know?
I'm going to say it's the same people who were on it before. And I'm not sure who they are. And that's something that, you and Councilmember Morris Lopez are still on it. And have to figure out, if y'all want that to stay the same. Okay. Yeah, those are the ones that I just mentioned that I had concern about. And if there's anything else that you want to be on that you weren't on before, that we didn't talk about. Oh, aging. I wanted to bring that up. I had a reason for bringing that up. Because that's in Santa Cruz. And did you want to be on that?
Yes, in Watsonville.
In Watsonville, and that's in the morning. And so I don't think Councilmember Morris Lopez can do it. I just need to confirm with her, but it's in Santa Cruz. So do you want to be the alternate? Okay. If she can't get to it, you will get to it. Yeah. think that's everything. Okay. Cool, awesome. Questions, comments, concerns from chambers or public? Thank you for that.
No hands raised on Zoom and seeing no speaker cards in chambers, Madam Mayor.
Okay. We do have one more. We still don't have a member at large for the Public Safety Ad Hoc Committee. So we'll have to bring that before the council. I don't think we've met in a really long time for that. I think Rachel Ponce was our last public member. So we need to fill that. There's actually 3 vacancies on it. 2 from the Planning Commission and a public member. So we'll have to bring that before the council. Okay. No speaker cards for that? Nobody on Zoom land?
No.
Okay, thank you. Oh, I have a council meeting tonight. Item C, adoption of policy governing annual election of mayor and mayor pro tem. Who's presenting this one?
Their city manager.
City manager.
That would be me.
Ashley Golick. Take it away.
So this policy just kind of, we're kind of solidifying the process as it currently stands. So staff's just recommending a policy that's something we can follow every year. And then obviously the council can opt to change it, but it's just something that we want to kind of make sure the public, for transparency purposes, and staff understand what the policy is and how we elect a mayor and a mayor pro tem every year. So I'm not gonna bore you with reading the details, but essentially, in December, the year before, in December, we would elect a mayor and a mayor pro tem to start the meeting in January, and so on and so forth. We would not have a rotating list of council members, so that every year the council would discuss and confer publicly and make nominations and carry on in that fashion. So I will take any questions you may have.
Thank you, Councilmember Aranda.
Other than, God, I mean, after just reviewing it, I don't have much other than is there a pro and a con of doing it like a round table like other cities have? I think there's other smaller cities where the next city council member takes on mayor for the year and then the next one and it just rotates. Is there any pros or cons to that, or is it better to just select?
I don't have any specific pros and cons for you. I'm not familiar with the rotating concept, except that I will say that, not every council member wants to be the mayor or mayor pro tem.
Got it. Other than that, I don't have much. I don't have anything else.
Okay, thank you. Nothing. I just had one question, only because you phrased it differently than what I read. December election and January seated. Currently, it's December election immediately followed by seated. I like the January seated. I always thought it was cumbersome, everybody getting up in the beginning of a meeting.
Sorry, Liz. I'm going to defer to the city clerk on this. She's the
Go
expert.
ahead.
I think the way we've done it, the way it should be is as soon as you do the election, then that's when it takes effect. But if you want to make a change and you prefer to do it starting in January, then it's the council's wish to change it if they desire to do so.
So for continuity, I I was proposing at the end of the meeting, at the end of the December meeting with a January takeover instead of the beginning. I don't care either way.
The
But
council's decision, if that's what they wish to do.
I got nothing from anybody.
I like the idea of January just because then you get to start the year fresh. I think that's really cool. I don't have an issue with that.
So it would just be a matter of timing for, because there is something that says, you could do it either way. You could do it either way. I read in different places where you can have the election at any point and continue on with the meeting for continuity or go to the next month. I forget where I read it, but I did mark it down. Doesn't matter. So whatever it is, the wish of the council. Whomever want. Oh, public comment. Do we have public comment on this?
We don't have any speaker cards in chambers, but we do have a hand raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
A Zoom user. Okay.
Go ahead, you have 3 minutes.
Hi, can you please state your name for the record?
Yeah, hey, my name is Ronnie J from 4th Street. Quick question. So what were to happen if, for instance, we come across the same issue where there isn't a quorum? Is that December deadline set in stone? And do we need to have special meetings, in case this doesn't fall through? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, back to the council. Oh. Thank you. As it is currently written, and this is something where might or might not be changing with this administrative. Is this an administrator or this is a resolution? 21205, choosing mayor and mayor pro tem. At a regular meeting in December of each year, the city council shall choose one of its members to serve as the mayor and one of its members to serve as mayor pro tem. Each to serve until successors are chosen at a regular meeting in the following December. And that's all it says. It doesn't give a time frame for
When?
switching over.
And that's in our ordinance. That's straight out of our ordinance.
Right, in our municipal code.
Correct.
So that would have to be updated. If we choose to. Okay, can I have a motion? I'm not even trying this one. Question.
What does our resolution read?
So this is an administrative policy and the resolution says to adopt an administrative policy governing the annual election of the mayor and the mayor pro tem. So how does that work with our municipal code then?
This falls exactly in line with the Muni code.
Okay. Okay.
So in other words, as soon as we vote in December, they just take over. I don't have a problem with that either.
I move that we approve a resolution adopting the administrative policy governing the annual election of the mayor and mayor pro tem.
Do I have a second?
Second. Sorry.
Motion made by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia, seconded by Councilmember Aranda. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilmember Aranda,
Yes.
Councilmember Frios,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Can't talk because it beeped. Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia,
Yes.
Mayor Jordan.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. Informational report, city manager report.
Can we let the staff go first?
Sure. Law, Fire, Public Works, Library.
Good evening. I guess that's me, staff. Hi.
Staff, Roy Morales, Assistant to the City Manager.
So the Sheriff's Office combined their October, November, and December report for last year. So what you'll see is a couple more slides. So total calls for service for the 3 months were 367. And they varied as far as calls, mostly theft calls though. And the deputy that was assigned to us took 29 reports. As far as citations, they had 11 citations. The busiest month was December of last year for several moving violations, and then also a warrant. And then just to note, CHP has also been enforcing traffic laws within the city, and that's the Salinas office of CHP. They have 2 officers, one that lives locally and another one that cruises through town a lot. And they've been also issuing citations. I just don't have their numbers as far as how many, but they are in town and people have reported them to me. And they come in to City Hall and check in once in a while as well. So that's been a great help. Again, I'm hoping that by next month I'll have some numbers from them as well. So that's a good thing. Any questions as far as the sheriff's office? There's not much to really go over for their report.
Actually, I have a question.
Go ahead.
A question. I know we had a couple break-ins and thefts on Lang Street and that side of town. How is that looking? Is that calming down or is it still becoming a problem?
We had the one that I can remember that was a person that misplaced their firearm, and that was taken care of. And then there was a car burglary. That was
Yeah, it was like someone stole some cars, something out of a trailer, and then wasn't there a break-in in someone's home and they caught the person or something like
I'm
that?
gonna say that was back in November, and they
Okay.
were all resolved.
But
They were arrested.
but we haven't seen any like uptick
There's no
anymore.
uptick. No.
Okay, cool. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Then I'll move on to the fire monthly report. December, 3 fire-related calls all in the county. 22 medical calls, 5 vehicle accidents, again, all in the county. 1 special event, which was the holiday parade. 1 inspection, which was coyote call. And one thing of note that's not on here as well is that we did place the order for our fire engine. So that's huge. So that was, last minute with Hollister. So Hollister ordered their engine and we ordered ours. So 2 on the way. Hopefully delivery by 2.5 years. Hopefully we get to see that. But they're on their way. Public Works, they worked on 2 water system repairs, trained on operating a new sewer pump station, concentrated on city park maintenance after the high winds. We had several of those in December, early December. And then various repairs of potholes throughout the city. They also worked on 3rd Street, some of the lining there. That's recently been done. And then City Library, we continue to do some interviews for library assistant. In fact, we just did one yesterday that looked pretty good. So we're hoping to fill that as soon as possible. So we're moving forward with that. Other than that, that's my report.
Thank you, Councilmember Aranda.
No questions or comments. Thank you, Roy, for everything you do, and staff. Thank you.
Okay, just one question, maybe 2. 22 medical, how many were within the city limit?
That I think I did not get the breakdown for that. I can find out and come back.
Okay, thank you. And damage costs for the high winds to the city?
There was none reported to me.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Public comment?
No speaker cards received, Madam Mayor, and seeing no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you. Community development? City Manager Ariel Goodspeed? Huh? Planning Manager, what did I say?
Yeah, I was like, oh, thanks for the promotion, but I don't want it.
My bad. Sorry.
No worries. I knew what you meant.
City
So now
planning
that I'm back
manager.
to my demotion, in planning, just a couple current planning applications, will be, we've been working on the Rotary Mission 10 run, that special event permit. They just need to pay a fee, and then we'll be issuing the permit. It should happen this week. Home occupation permit was approved. A new planning application was created to replace the other 22 planning applications. So just so you know, if you wanted to come do a planning application, there were 22 posted on our website, depending on which application. In addition to that, you would have to, on the application, it sometimes would refer to another form that you would need. So that's very confusing for the public. There is now just one form. It also includes a reimbursement and indemnification agreement. So a standard form for anyone coming in that they will need to pay us for all expenses. And so that was one of our fun things we did. Additionally, we've just continued to work on a fee schedule update. And then in our advanced planning, as you saw tonight, we have now adopted our housing element, and we'll be sending that to HCD. And we are continuing to work on the targeted infill general plan amendment and hoping to get a public draft out soon. And then we'll schedule a special study session during the release of the public draft with the Planning Commission. Next slide, building. So continue to collaborate with code enforcement to ensure that permit fees are aligned with code cases. Essentially, if a code case is open, when someone comes in, let's say you're working without permits and they then have to do their permit, their building permit, their code enforcement fees are also being collected. So it's just ensuring we're collecting all the revenue we should be, and that all our departments are communicating together. We continued the organization of building and encroachment files, just internal organization and cleanup. We received 8 building permits and 2 encroachment permits for the month. So I also just we processed, our permit technician processed the encroachment permits. We take those in, but that's really engineering that reviews and improve those. We tracked expiration dates for encroachment permits. So that's one of the things that, so building is starting to help with public works, and that just is a citywide collaboration. And so we're just checking to see if there's anything that's expired, and then adding one from 1 year to 1 month validity. So we also shadowed inspections. Our permit technician shadowed inspections during field inspections to gain knowledge on how to accurately reference field items in the office. So more training, making sure that our office staff understand what is going on in for building inspections, so that we can better help the public when they're coming in. And we assisted other departments with water bill intake. So again, cross-training so that the city as a whole can function smoothly. Next slide. For code enforcement, we had 5 new cases that were created. There were 2 stop work order notices issued for buildings without permits. There were 3 property violations with notices of violations issued. There were 2 citations for parking issued, and there was a vehicle parked on a private property without consent, and that was also addressed. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you. Councilmember Aranda?
Yeah, I have a question. For the planning applicants, do we currently have SLAs in place? And if not, is that something we can implement? And the reason I bring that up is I'm looking more from what I've heard when we submit an application. Sometimes you get business owners or whoever who say, hey, we haven't reached out. It's been 2-3 weeks. And so I want to implement something where there is at least, if an applicant comes in, they get a message that says, hey, we received it. 2 weeks from now, they're going to have a response in regards to whatever it is. I just want to make sure that we're not dropping the ball and that it's easygoing, and the application process is a good one for when people put it in, because that's one of our issues here in this town is it just sucks putting one in.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really great comment. And so just for everyone's understanding, when you submit a planning application, you're under the Permit Streamlining Act. We are required to respond in letter within 30 days. Part of the process when an application is submitted is, depending on the type of application, it's routed to all the agencies, and they need to get us comments back no later than 15 days. So that's just behind the scenes. I can't comment on anything prior, but that is state law and that's what we are following. We're also really working to improve just our communication. And so, certain like larger applications that really require more, we're scheduling, trying to schedule regular like internal meetings, to like monthly or biweekly meetings, to work on those projects. And we will, be working with applicants. One of the things that we have done thus far, in my short tenure here with the city, is we've been going back through all the existing applications, the D'Ambroso, that's a great one. It had been sitting in limbo since June. And so we noticed, hey, why have they not submitted? And so we reached out to them and, they didn't understand that they still needed to submit stuff to make it an official application. So we're doing things like that to, provide, just clear communication and again, high level customer service. That's what we want for our residents and our businesses and future businesses.
Great,
Well,
thank you.
Sorry, long-winded.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels?
Just first off, thank you for streamlining stuff. Thank you for consolidating. Thank you for doing what you did. You look back and getting people going. It's so nice not getting a phone call from members of the public complaining about 4-leaf. It was terrible. So, and it was almost nightly sometimes. So thank you so much. Question on code enforcement. RV parked on the street. Was this RV parked there for like an extended amount of time? Or I guess what I'm concerned about, we have a lot of people, tourists coming in, and if they don't have anywhere to park with their RV and they're parked on the street to go eat dinner at, Hardeen's or visit town, are they going to get a ticket?
I think it was there for extended time, but I can provide information after the meeting.
Thanks.
I'll follow up later this week.
No, thank you. Thank you for your help.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem Spathia.
Thank you very much. No questions.
Just a quick follow-up for the permits. It's all permits, like event permits, building permits, planning permits. We receive an application, and regardless of what it is, and I understand that there's timelines for building and planning, but for events, if there's an event like rib cook-off, whenever that is, July now, an application comes in August, but no response until November or December.
I'll be honest. We're actually having our associate planner, Victor Tafoya. He's assigned to all our special event permits, and we're not going 30 days without responding and working with the applicants and the agencies. I just was also discussing that would be the latest would be the 30-day.
Perfect.
But yes, for special events, that's kind of its own beast.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have an expert planner who's worked on all of our temporary event permits at the county for 3 years. And
awesome.
So he's making sure all the I's are dotted, all the T's are crossed.
I love that. Yeah, super impressed with the whole staff. Loving it. Thank you. Questions, comments, concerns from chambers or?
No speaker cards received and seeing no hands raised on Zoom, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Council representatives to regional organizations. I'm sorry. Now to our planning manager. Ashley Colick.
Thank you,
Sorry,
Mayor.
City Manager
I
Ashley
wasn't, I
Colick.
really wasn't ready. My papers are all fumbly and now I'm ready. I'm so sorry.
My
I
bad.
do not have a lot to report, so I have a verbal presentation, just verbal notes about, I'm going to do some forecasting. Assistant to the city manager, Roy Morales, stole the thunder by telling you that the fire truck has been ordered. So I'm just going to copy him and repeat it. A fire truck has been ordered, and we're super excited about that. Coming up, strategic planning. I'm going to reach out to each of you, but we need to think about strategic planning and looking at the 5-year plan that we currently have and making some strategic decisions, because that plan is going to help us with the next fiscal year budget, which is also coming. So those are the hot ticket items that are brewing in the back of my mind. Strategic plan, new budget, but in the short term, a mid-year budget review. So we're gonna have some discussion about how it's going, what we're doing, and what that looks like. In February, I'm going to host a coffee with the city manager. My goal is to do that in and around San Juan Bautista. I think our first one's going to hopefully be at the library, and then I'll maybe hopefully get down to 3rd Street and have one there, where I kind of move around the city and meet people and really just listen to what is going on, what the challenges are, and have staff with me there also, so that we can respond in real time. We do not get everyone to come to the meetings. I get that, that's impossible. So how do we meet people where they are? So that is the goal for those types of events. So those are the things that are on my to-do list, as well as all the things that I talked about last year that are also still on that gigantic list, right? Those things are remaining the same. Force main, closing out that project, industrial users, finalizing those contracts, the water transmission pipeline project, and et cetera, for Mr. Ponce over there. We're working on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Council questions?
Yeah, I have a question. It's related to planning and also to our accountant, Wendy. I know she's not on, but future. But I'm asking in the context of long-term planning purposes. I know we approved many important projects which were positive. We're addressing city needs and making huge progress, such as the fire truck. However, I'm concerned about our long-term fiscal sustainability. I'm looking to figure out in the next 3 years what our outlook is going to be. And I'm asking about the sewer main project, the fire department, operating costs, the fire truck purchase, city personnel, ongoing operations, and ongoing anticipated litigation costs. I don't know where we're at. And I'm a little concerned. I know we've been saying yes, 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 which is great. But in the next 3 years, I don't know how deep in the whole our city is and what we're doing, and what we're doing and how we're going to plan to pay for all this. And so I'm now getting to a point where I'm really concerned, and so I really want to focus on that. And I know you're going to be doing all the planning and budgeting, but I think that needs to be a huge priority for this town, because in the next 3 to 5 years, God only knows what's going to happen, because I know the fire department's going up, and then financing and all this stuff going on. So I would like to see that prioritized. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilmember Friels?
That was, you kind of hit that, didn't you? The kind of a 5-year plan.
That's why
Yeah.
the strategic plan and the budgeting process, that is the place for all of those discussions. Thank you.
That is great. So thank you for that.
Yep. And I had something, but I forgot. I can always ask you later. Thanks.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
No questions. Thank you.
I don't either. Thank you. Thank you very much, City Manager Ashley Colick. For the night. Council representatives to reports for regional organizations. Sorry, did I forget to ask public comment on that? Did I ask public comment already? Okay, we have none. Thank you. I got the shake of the head. None. Regional committee.
I regional stuff. I haven't attended a meeting. I just got back. So looking forward to attending the next meetings, which is my integrated waste meeting. I think it's tomorrow, and then the San Benito County Business Association or something like that. It's coming up. So what we're talking about.
Okay. Councilmember Friels.
No, no commissions or boards last month. It was the area agency on aging and the advisement committee, and then the actual board met at a big yearly function, but it was a day I couldn't make it.
Okay.
Nothing.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
I have not had any meetings since our last December meeting.
LAFCO, we met and appointed a new chair and vice chair. Our new chair is Commissioner Zanger, and our vice chair is Commissioner Mello, who is our public member to the commission. And there was no discussion on where Cal LAFCO is going. Water Resources Association was canceled. Intergovernmental is now at the City of Hollister's council chambers. That meeting was canceled, and then the Board of Supervisors just decided to cancel the whole entire committee, but we're still working through that one. The San Benito County the Economic Committee met, and it's all about how to do economic development and business development within the county. So it's very important that San Juan show up because especially when meetings are downtown Hollister, where the county seat is and the City of Hollister seat is, San Juan gets overlooked. So if anybody wants to attend those, that's great. In the tourism committee meeting, it's all about branding the pinnacles. So in the Board of Supervisors meeting last week, the Board of Supervisors, they have a ribbon on the bottom of their logo that said 150th anniversary, and they are changing that to read the home of the pinnacles now. And there's a whole branding campaign around that. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please attend the tourism committee meeting, which is held at the Board of Supervisors chambers on, I forget what day. Sorry. That's all I have. And if anybody cannot if you're the primary on a committee, this will get distributed to everybody. So please make sure that your alternate can make it if you cannot, and if they can't, call me. Last item is, I just lost everything. Last item is council announcements. Councilmember Aranda.
Other than there's a few events going on around town.
Nope, go ahead. I was
Sorry.
Sneezing in the
For February, I know there's a Sweetheart Scavenger Hunt. I forget. I think it's on the 3rd or no. I can't remember. It's on the 14th.
It's on the 14th.
Yeah, and then we have a speed dating event that's coming back at the Hideaway, which is really cool. On the 13th from 6 to 9. That should be exciting for those who
Mayor.
yeah, go on a date with the mayor. And then we have a Hearts and Kisses Valentine's Fun Fest being put on, the Lovers Celebration at Vertigo. And I believe our new Greatest Cool restaurant Inaka Fusion's hosting a Valentine's Day dinner or dinner. And then we also have the Native Daughters Valentine's Day dinner and dance, which should be really cool. So a lot of Valentine's Day stuff going on in San Juan. So please check it out. And then also we have the tomorrow it's the San Juan, not San Juan, it's the San Benito Green Mixer. Is it?
Yes.
We have a green mixer going on. San Benito County Business Mixer. Go ahead and check that out. It starts at 5:30 at the San Benito County Arts Council. And then also the New Year social open house for the San Benito County Business Council at San Juan Oaks. So make sure to check that out as well.
Tomorrow?
That's
No.
on Friday.
That's
Friday.
on, yeah. So yeah, go out and check all those cool little things. So it's
Okay.
bustling and
Thank you very much. Councilmember
Yeah.
Friels.
Jose hit it, Native Daughters dinner dances at the community center. There'll be a band, the same band as last year. And then question, we still have our Christmas lights up and our Christmas decorations. How much longer are we gonna have those up? And can we take all the lights off the poles this year? Because we left all the Christmas lights on the
the
poles.
Rotary stuff's coming down. The spirits are coming down at on the 22nd at around 9 a.m.
Okay.
I can tell you that.
And then can we get all the lights? Because people have been plugging those lights on, and you just talked about saving money, and we've been using
Oh, that is
electricity.
our electricity, yeah.
Using electricity all year round. So no more freebies. That's all I got.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia.
I don't have any announcements.
I don't either. Thank you for all of the February ones. Okay, motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Seconded.
Motion made by Councilmember Friel, seconded by Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia. May I have a roll call, please?
Yes. No, I'm just kidding.
Councilmember Aranda?
Yes.
Councilmember Friel?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sabathia?
Yes.
And Mayor Jordan? Yes, 8:45. Thank you all very much. Shirley, you didn't even get up and talk. I'm so thrilled you were here. I haven't seen you in.
Just give me a little time. Yeah, I'll make up for that.
It was very nice seeing you.
Thank you.